put your all into it and not to. Separate myself cause it don't make sense. Chill by myself every day is vacant. Gotta concentrate, exercise patience. I really love now, God I'm hating. I pray to God cause they worship Satan. I see the hate while they contemplating. My money talk, hear the conversations. Don't need a plug, I got good relations. Better watch your bitch and you. My story not like everybody else. You know, I was fortunate to come from a good home. You know, like, didn't have much guidance, but it was guidance there. You know, like, it was a foundation there. My mother, she was married, so I got to experience, like, a family life, like, what it's like to have a family, what it's like to have a father, referring to her husband, like, I got to experience it, you know, like. But I also grew up in the hood too, like, stayed with my granny, raised in the hood. So I got to see a lot of unfortunate situations for a lot of people. And that's what kind of opened my eyes to it. But I remember I told them, I had people my age looking up to me, like, admiring me as a person, spoiled as a kid, you know, like, my grandmama, she spoiled me. My mother, she spoiled me whenever she could. So I had more than a lot of people in my environment in the hood where I came from. They kind of looked at me like as the spoiled kid, the kid that came from money, like, was a kid who had a lot of jewelry. I was a child that had a lot of jewelry. Like as a child, I had jewelry, like gold teeth, people admired it. Like, I was fortunate enough to hang with older people, looked up to, like, as a father figure. They got money, taught me a lot. And man, it all started, man, when I realized, man, I had to separate myself from the generation I was growing up in. Like, realizing I was different and really realizing how fortunate I am as a person. Like, because, like, growing up in the neighborhoods that I grew up in, like the hood that I came from, really helped me see, man, how fortunate I am as a person. Like, as a child, man, I had that foundation. I had that family foundation. Man, it stayed with my grandmother, like, at the beginning of my life, the early stages in my life, around teenage, elementary to teenager, elementary to high school. So my grandmother, she took good care of me. A lot of kids from my neighborhood, they noticed it. I had stuff that just seemed drug dealers, man. You know, like, I kept up with the fashion, like the drug dealers, like the new J's, new clothes, new outfits all the time. I got to see how fortunate I was, and it also showed me how unfortunate a lot of people are where I come from. Shout out to my granny, Cecilia McDowell, had me in church. Even though I grew up in the hood, I had a chance to go to church every Sunday, get close to God, have a relationship with God. People kind of see it as odd, because, like, most hood niggas, I guess, don't have a relationship with God or talk about God the way I do. But I remember times where people be like, man, Jizzl, he crazy, he went crazy, I got slipped to Mickey, like, I'm saying, he talking about God and stuff like that, man. I also got to read the Bible, man, like, a lot, like, for myself. Like, I didn't just go to church and get the word from the church. I actually got to read the Bible, like, 8 times. Like, I counted how many times I read the Bible from cover to cover. Like, so I know a lot about the Bible, man. A lot of it's due to incarceration, man, getting locked up as a young nigga, you know, having to fight cases and beat charges and having to learn the law and become my own lawyer, man. Because, like, a lot of black people, so-called black people, who really the Jews, they don't know the law, man. And our culture always getting criminalized, and we always got to pay for it. Like, us as a culture is criminalized. Like, we automatically criminals just because of our culture, our hair, braids, dreads, our clothes, that automatically raise suspicion. You know, like cops look for black men with braids and baggy clothes. Nowadays it's tight clothes. Where I came from it was baggy clothes, but back then it was a stereotype to harass and lock them up. Like, as I got older, I learned, man, it's just a strategy, and like black men really at war and don't even know it. That's the thing, man. You look at all these rappers going to jail, getting killed. And people think all of this is a coincidence. People have their opinions and think that this is justified. It's not justified, man. Like, making us criminals is not justified, because for one, when you really break it down and you do your research and you learn about your history, you'll understand that us so-called black people, aka the Jews, is really indigenous to these lands that these other races done conquer. Like, if you think about it, like, black people are the only people that don't have a nationality. We black people. And we blind to the fact that being black people is basically you outlaw. If you look up the law of black, mean outlaw. White person mean a free person. So labeling us as black, we outlaw. I mean, anybody can do anything to us unlawfully. Don't have to be no justice served, because we black people, we people without a nationality. If you look at these other races, you study and you do your research, these other races, they have nationality. You got Irish people, you got Portuguese people, you got German people, and they gonna tell you their nationality. But if you ask a black person, what's your nationality? I bet you 9 times out of 10 they cannot tell you. They're gonna say they're a black person. They're gonna say they're African American. It's not a nationality, that's a continent. Africa is a continent, America is a continent. It's not a nationality. These other races, they get away with treating us any kind of way because we ignorant to who we are as a people. And lack of knowledge is our downfall. We've been misled, we've been misguided. It's really paying attention to the direction that my generation was headed in. And it's a disaster, it's chaos. Like, it's the blind leading the blind. It's a lot of stuff that goes on with people I hang around and be around. It just didn't make sense, man. Like, even down to my city, man. Like, my city, it bothers me. There's too much competition with people that you know. Instead of supporting people you know, you compete. Instead of helping somebody, you see them as a threat. And I realized that, man, like, a lot of people just hate because they don't get attention. Like, hating on somebody that's relevant bring the person that's irrelevant attention. So I realized that's where the hate come from. Shout out to We the Chick, man, because, like, we really, whether people want to admit it or not, we really been carrying, like, the Knoxville music scene on our backs. Like, We the Chick, and there's a few others. There's a few others, but very few. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. Instead of people, like, applauding us and supporting us, and not that we ask for their support, but, like, I feel like it's common sense to support your hometown. Anybody I see from my hometown doing that thing, I support that, I salute it. Like, that's my city. Like, that's what I represent. That's what I identify myself with, my city and more. So I support that anybody doing that thing. I don't look at nobody from my city as a threat. I don't look at nobody from my city as competition, because what I do realize, like, I travel, I go to other states and hang out. And what I do realize that a nigga in Florida is not competing with me. It's not no nigga in Florida that's competing with me. It's not no nigga that's in Atlanta competing with me. It's the niggas that I know that's competing with me. That's what I realized. Like the niggas I know, it's gonna be people you know who compete with you. That's who gonna compete with you. I understand? Just because they know you. And I realized, man, you see somebody doing that thing, and you see they on the verge, on the brink of making it out the same odds that a lot of people stuck in, and you feel some type of way about that. Like Drake said, man, like, it's funny how other people's success, it's funny how somebody's success bring other people pain. Man. Like, I never would get that. Like, to me, like, success, to me, is personal. Like, as an individual, like, you the one who got to care about your success. Me personally, I don't have to care about the next person's success. Even though I want to see it, I don't have to care about it, and I understand that. So success has to be personal. And I take my individual success personal because when I go home and lay down at the end of the night, I got to be content with the way I'm living. I can't be disappointed in myself when I lay down at night. Like, I want to lay down in a king-size bed. I want to lay down in a house full of food. I want to drive nice cars that don't break down. I want to wear nice clothes. I want to look nice. I want to have nice things. Because I'm born into a world where nice things are available. So why should I be deprived of anything that's a part of this world that I was born into? It's like I inherited this. It's like it's a birthright. But you got people out there that would try to deprive you of life, man. Like I said, you see a lot of these rappers, they're getting locked up. Their money is meaningless, it's vanity. They put their false hope into their money, like their money gonna save them till the federal get you. And you make bond, and you still can't get out. I see that in Boosie's situation, like the man make bond and you still can't get out. So what black men gotta understand, man, this war, it's not a physical war, it's a mental war. We gotta be educated. We need leaders. I paid attention to history. Like, I understand what went on in history. I do. Like, I understand, like, black people had leaders at one point. And where they at today, they did. Like, they assassinated. It's not that they died of natural causes or old age or anything like that. They got assassinated. See what I'm saying? If black people go on like this stuff don't exist, like, it's not the reality that we live, like, it's not the truth that we live, like, we don't take care of each other, we kill each other, like, we hate on each other, like, man, you see a nigga out here doing this thing, you know what I'm saying? A black man's natural instinct is to be like, look at this nigga, like, he think he all lit or some shit like that, man. 9 times out of 10, y'all can look very similar, like, this your brother, like, y'all connected, but instead of congratulating this man and looking at it as an inspiration, like, if he can do it, I can do it. It's like, look at this nigga, like, who this nigga think he is, like. And that's why I make sure, man, like, I'm not worried about nobody else, and I'm not worried about who worried about me. Like, I'm only worried about King Jizzl, and that's it. That's enough to worry about. That's enough to focus on, like. Shout out to King Jizzl, man, cause, like, we need leaders, and I volunteer to be a leader. Like, I volunteer, like, to lead my people. Like, I take that as a responsibility. So that got a lot to do with how I create myself, my mindset. You look at the wealth gap, and it say white people, 117,000, and then my people, black people, 2,500. You know, so you think that's a coincidence. You look at the prison populations, and 70% of prison populations is black people. You think that's a coincidence. You look at my neighborhoods and where I come from, ghetto. I mean, where don't nobody hardly make it out, bro. Like, I'm really from a place where I don't know not one person that made it out that motherfucker, like, successful. Like, yeah, they around. That's all. They're around, my friends. A lot of people I grew up with were dead or in jail. Like, this the reality, so I live my truth, and I'm like, I'm looking at reality like, this really happening, like, not many make it out. You gotta be the judge, though. Know what to put your all into and what not to. Separate myself cause it don't make sense. Chill by myself every day is vacant. Gotta concentrate, exercise.